Imagine spending like $15 million to buy a crown, only to realize you've, accidentally purchased a giant bullseye.
Right.
Today, we are looking at the absolute PR disasters, the leaking NDAs, and the billionaire backpedals that prove money can buy you a lot of things, but it absolutely cannot buy you control over the narrative.
Or control over your friends' ex-husbands, apparently. Because, I mean, the entire ecosystem of Hollywood social contracts is completely collapsing as we speak.
Completely collapsing. We have a wildly chaotic docket today. But first, babes, it's Monday morning, so by the time most of you hear this, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Snark Squad.
Wherever you are, whenever you're listening, babes, we are so glad you are here because let me tell you, the sheer willpower it took to get upright and just speak into this microphone today deserves some kind of civic award. I am currently clutching this iced vanilla latte like it is a literal flotation device in the middle of a stormy ocean. The ice is clinking, my phone has been vibrating off the nightstand since 5 in the morning, and my nervous system is basically just operating on pure aggressive adrenaline at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the caffeine required today is structural.
Yes.
It is load-bearing. I think my blood is currently 80% espresso and 20% pure, unadulterated stress.
Yeah.
It's that kind of morning where one latte isn't a beverage, it's a medical intervention.
Sure.
You need the sugar, you need the milk, and you need the absolute electrical shock to the nervous system just to process the sheer volume of foolishness happening in the world today. And before we even get to the celebrities, can we just talk about the absolute disrespect occurring outside our windows right now?
Oh my gosh, the weather. I'm taking this personally. Look at the calendar. It is May 4th.
Right.
May 4th, 2026. It should be giving soft girl summer.
It really should.
It should be giving sundresses, oversized sunglasses, sipping Aperol spritzes on a patio while talking about our feelings and pretending we don't have to work for a living.
Yeah.
Instead, it is giving late March gloom. It is giving seasonal depression round 2.
Heavy on the gloom.
I was looking at my weather app this morning, fully spiraling, and I realized that the weather in Salem, Massachusetts, where the witches historically froze, is probably better than what we're dealing with right now.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I am right back in my post-vacation delusion, and I desperately, fundamentally need another mini vacation to escape this sky. It's aggressively gray.
Okay, let's just pause the soft girl summer delusion for just 1 second and look at the actual macroeconomic reality of a mini vacation right now.
Oh, don't ruin this for me.
I have to. I know you're romanticizing a spontaneous weekend in Tulum or like a quick flight to Miami, but a mini vacation requires actual paid time off. It requires PTO, which working class humans are currently hoarding like dragons hoarding gold, and it requires actual American dollars. Have you looked at the flight index recently?
I try not to look, honestly.
Well, the hotel taxes alone. The minute you step off a plane in a warm climate, you're spending $200 just to breathe the tropical air. So before you spiral into scrolling Airbnb listings with infinity tools, remember that your bank account is currently giving working class winter.
Wow.
The post-vacation bubble is a mathematical impossibility right now. We are staying put.
You are so rude for bringing inflation and taxes into this before 9 in the morning. You really are the grim reaper of my Pinterest board.
I prefer the term financial realist.
But fine, you're right. We are grounded in reality today. And speaking of reality, I have to confess something. I did something this morning that I swore I wouldn't do. I succumbed to the algorithm.
Oh, no.
I made the breakfast. You know the one.
Do not tell me you actually bought into the aesthetic TikTok breakfast industrial complex.
I did. I made the chia pudding.
I knew it.
And I have to admit, TikTok did not lie this time. I was fully prepared to hate it. I was prepared for it to taste like sad, wet gravel because, historically, that is exactly what chia seeds taste like.
They taste like frog spawn.
Exactly. But I did the peaches and cream variation. I mashed the peaches. I layered the cream. I let it sit overnight in the cute little glass jar.
The artisanal glassware, of course.
Of course. And let paint a picture for you. Creamy, sweet, surprisingly elite. It was a textural masterpiece. I felt like I was eating dessert at a 5-star wellness retreat in Sedona. It honestly saved my morning.
Okay, let's dissect the psychology of this for a second, because this isn't just about breakfast. This is about late-stage capitalism coping mechanisms.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
Are we officially wellness people now? Because I need to know if this is a genuine lifestyle infrastructure change, or if this is just your classic one-week dopamine hyperfixation before the aesthetic wears off and we are back in the drive-thru line ordering toasted bagels with 2 inches of cream cheese. Last month, it was the expensive green juice protocol. The month before that, it was the lemon water with cayenne pepper that literally destroyed our tooth enamel. Now we're doing layered chia puddings. I give it until Thursday before the novelty collapses.
Thursday is generous, to be completely fair. By Wednesday, the sheer exhaustion of mashing peaches at night will catch up to me, and I'll be craving a bacon, egg, and cheese. But for today, I am a wellness goddess. Okay. Let me have this illusion of control over my life.
Consider it granted for today.
Thank you. But even the chia pudding couldn't stop the existential dread of knowing we have to go to our actual jobs today. And yes, dentistry is great. I love it. Teeth are important. Dental hygiene is crucial.
Very crucial.
But I was sitting there eating my little aesthetic pudding, looking at the gray sky, and I just went down a total mental rabbit hole. Babes, could you imagine if we were lawyers?
Oh, here we go. The Elwood cinematic universe delusion strikes again.
Just picture it, the high-powered courtroom drama, the tailored suits.
The suits are expensive.
But so chic. The pencil skirts and the stilettos clicking aggressively on marble floors, slamming a thick leather briefcase down on a mahogany table and shouting, "Objection!"
You realize that doesn't happen.
Think about the endless high-stakes scandals. Think about the late nights in the corner office overlooking the city skyline, ordering Chinese food in those little white boxes while poring over documents, and finding that one crucial, hidden piece of evidence that breaks the whole corporate espionage case wide open.
You're describing a movie.
It's so glamorous. I would be an absolute shark in a courtroom, the theater of it all. I'd be the rainmaker.
Okay, let me bring the gavel down on that fantasy right now, counselor.
Objection.
Overruled.
Yeah.
You are picturing an episode of Suits written by Shonda Rhimes. You are picturing television. Let me walk you through the actual mechanics of the legal profession. First of all, the crushing, soul-destroying weight of law school debt.
Okay, Mel.
You are looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans just for the piece of paper that allows you to argue with people professionally. Second, the 80-hour billable work weeks.
80 hours.
Yes. There is no soft girl summer in corporate litigation. There is only fluorescent lighting, chronic dry eye, and endless mind-numbing document review during the discovery phase. Courtroom drama-like, the actual standing up and yelling objection is maybe 5% of the job.
Only 5%. That's so disappointing.
The other 95% is reading terms of service agreements, researching obscure case law from 1982, and fighting with opposing counsel over the placement of commas in a merger contract.
Okay, but I'd still look good doing it.
No, you wouldn't. You would not be wearing stilettos. You would be wearing orthopedic flats by year 3 because the ergonomic chairs in the firm are never actually ergonomic, and your lumbar spine would be completely destroyed.
Okay, wow. Objection to your entire negative energy. But you know what? I maintain that I would thrive in the drama. My theory is that you would completely spiral because of the monotonous paperwork. But I would be the face of the firm. I would be the one giving the highly emotional press conferences on the courthouse steps in a trench coat.
Did we choose the right path? Honestly, looking at how much you thrive on absolute interpersonal chaos, maybe you should have been a high-profile divorce litigator.
Oh, I would be so good at that.
But looking at my absolute need for a predictable schedule, a defined weekend, and a lack of opposing counsel screaming at me over a Zoom mediation, I am profoundly happy we are not lawyers. We get enough secondhand stress just from our own group chat. We do not need to add billable hours to the mix.
I can see the point.
Yeah.
Very fair. And honestly, we get all the psychological drama we could ever need right here on the podcast. Which brings me to something I want to talk about before we get into the news.
Let's hear it.
I just want to take a second and talk about how much I've been absolutely loving the Celebrity Spill segment lately. And we have to thank the Snark Squad because you guys have been hyping us up so much in the comments and the DMs and the reviews.
The feedback has been amazing.
The energy has been incredible. You guys love the absolute mess just as much as we do. And I am just basking in the gratitude this morning. We love you.
We absolutely love the Snark Squad. But I have to ask the burning question that is keeping me up at night.
What?
Babes, where are the housewives?
Oh my gosh, right.
Where is the Bravo chaos? We are in a historic drought. It is a reality TV desert right now. St. Andy Cohen, if you are listening to this, we need activity.
Well, you're starving.
We need an unhinged cast trip to a destination where nobody speaks the language. We need a dinner party from hell with a psychic. We need someone throwing a glass of Pinot Grigio in a crowded restaurant. The silence from the Bravoverse is actually deafening right now. I need the mechanics of manufactured drama back on my television.
It is entirely too quiet on that front. But you know what? This drought is exactly why the Celebrity Spill exists. Because while Bravo might be taking a little nap between production cycles, the general celebrity mess never, ever sleeps. The A-listers are out here acting like reality stars anyway, and honestly, some of the tea we have today is so wild, so structurally unhinged, it feels like it was scripted by a reality TV producer. Even the royals are giving us drama. They love a good lawsuit just as much as a Real Housewife of Beverly Hills.
That is the truest thing you've said all morning. The mess is universal.
It really is.
But before we get into the absolute architectural collapse of the last 24 hours, a quick legal disclaimer for the Snark Squad. Any tea we mention, all alleged babes.
Yes, all alleged.
We are just two highly caffeinated besties reading the room, looking at the patterns, and sharing our highly opinionated theories. Do not come for us. We are just the messengers of the mess.
We are innocent bystanders. Okay, let's jump straight into the deep end of the chaos because we have to talk about what is happening tonight. It is May 4th, 2026, which means tonight is the Met Gala.
The first Monday in May.
The biggest, most exclusive night in global fashion. And the behind-the-scenes PR drama is already giving me palpitations. We need to talk about the Bezos backpedal.
Oh, this is the definition of a PR crisis happening in real time. This is the illusion of control completely shattering at the highest possible tax bracket.
I am fascinated by this. Okay, so Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez are the honorary co-chairs this year. They threw down major cash to sponsor the event. We are talking an alleged $15 million pumped directly into the Met Gala.
A staggering amount of money.
Staggering. They hosted a massive, wildly exclusive pre-Met party at their NYC residence on Saturday. But now, literally hours before the red carpet rolls out, the word on the street is that Jeff is having second thoughts about attending.
Fascinating.
He wants to back out. He wants to stay home.
Let's break down the structural strategy here, because $15 million is not just a philanthropic donation. It is a hostile takeover of the upper echelon of high society.
Right.
Anna Wintour is brilliant, and she operates the Met Gala guest list like a sovereign nation. She wanted his money. She needed that massive corporate bankroll to fund the Costume Institute for the year. What she did not want, and what Bezos' PR team clearly failed to calculate, was Jeff Bezos becoming the physical embodiment of the villain of the night.
Which he totally is right now.
Exactly. We have to look at the macroeconomic climate right now. The optics of extreme unregulated wealth are very, very tense. There are rumors of massive physical and political protests planned around the museum perimeter tonight.
Yes. The critics are already screaming on social media that the Met Gala has completely lost its original artistic purpose, that it's just a disgusting, gluttonous display of wealth where billionaires go to play dress up and take selfies while the rest of the world is struggling to buy groceries and pay rent.
Precisely.
And who is the ultimate, universally recognized symbol of that extreme wealth? Jeffrey Preston Bezos.
Yeah.
The inside word is that the negative publicity is actually harming their brand reputation, which is wild to me because they spent $15 million specifically to buy good publicity.
That is the ultimate irony of modern billionaire PR. They thought they were buying cultural credibility and artistic validation, but they essentially bought a $15 million bullseye and painted it squarely on their own backs.
A very expensive bullseye.
The internal source literally said Jeff is a target politically, socially, and physically. When you have threat assessment security teams telling you that stepping out of an armored SUV might cause a literal riot on Fifth Avenue, the smartest, most analytical PR move is to stay in the penthouse. The source said the strategic move is for him to disappear into the shadows and let Lauren pose alone.
But see, this is where I think the strategy falls apart because we have to talk about Lauren Sanchez.
Oh, let's talk about Lauren.
If you think she is going to stay in that penthouse and miss the Met Gala just because people might yell at them through a barricade, you do not understand the psychology of Lauren Sanchez.
Not a chance.
She is an absolute force of nature when it comes to social climbing. She is completely unbothered by public opinion. She is forcing the world to look at her. The tea we're getting from the insider is everything. They said, Lauren is going. Full stop. You could have protesters hanging from the ceiling, and she'd still step out of that car smiling.
I mean, analytically speaking, you have to respect the sheer unyielding hustle of it, even if you hate the game.
You kind of do.
This woman has spent years networking, dressing, curating, and methodically clawing her way toward this specific night. She secured the billionaire, she secured the $15 million sponsorship, she secured the honorary co-chair title. As the insider accurately noted, she did not marry Jeff Bezos to sit in an apartment and miss the Met Gala. She is going to walk those steps, she is going to pose for the cameras, and she does not care if the entire socioeconomic world is burning behind her. It's actually kind of terrifying. It's a masterclass in compartmentalization.
It is terrifying, and I cannot wait to watch it happen live. I will be glued to the Vogue live stream just to see her face when she steps onto that carpet. Will he be standing awkwardly next to her, sweating through his tuxedo? Will he be hiding in an armored vehicle down the street while she gives interviews? The suspense is incredible.
The body language analysis tomorrow is going to be premium.
Oh, I'll be taking screenshots.
Yep.
But speaking of the Met Gala, we cannot transition away without talking about absolute Met Gala royalty. The Queen of the Stairs herself, Kim Kardashian.
You cannot discuss the cultural impact of the Met Gala without discussing Kim. It's her Super Bowl. She treats it with the intensity of a military campaign.
She really does.
Yeah.
She is teasing year 13 on her Instagram right now. 13 years of walking that carpet.
Yeah.
She posted this whole carousel taking us down memory lane, starting with that iconic 2013 floral Givenchy dress when she was pregnant with North.
Oh, the couch dress.
Remember the couch memes? The baby bump look. And then she posted the Mugler wet look drip dress,
Okay.
the all-black Balenciaga face mask era where she looked like a fashionable shadow, and of course the Marilyn Monroe dress that basically caused an international incident with fashion historians.
It's highly effective marketing. She's reminding everyone of her historical impact and her archival footprint before she even steps out tonight. She's establishing her dominance.
Really?
But what I find hilarious from a brand control perspective is her little Q&A on X. Fans were begging her to drop a hint about who she's wearing, and she's gatekeeping that information with her life.
So hard. One fan asked her to drop a hint, and she just replied, I don't think you'll be able to guess, with a wink face emoji. She is giving absolutely nothing about the designer.
Classic Kim.
But she did give a tiny microscopic crumb about the glam. Someone asked if she was doing colorful makeup or nude look, and she said, more neutral bronze tones. Which, let's be honest, Kim Kardashian doing neutral bronze tones is like saying water is wet. That is her entire genetic signature.
Exactly. It's a non-answer disguised as an exclusive scoop. The real analytical question here is, what is the architectural strategy this year? Is she going to try and outdo the Mugler drip, which was arguably her peak fashion moment in terms of universally positive reception?
That Mugler was perfection.
Right. Or is she going to play it incredibly safe because the backlash to the Marilyn Monroe dress, where people accused her of stretching historical fabric, was so intense? My bet is she goes deep into the archives. Something historically significant but less controversial than Marilyn. Maybe a vintage Dior by John Galliano, considering her recent runway attendance. Whatever it is, she understands the currency of the Met Gala is breaking the internet, and she rarely fails to cash in.
My theory is she goes completely architectural. Something so structured and massive that it makes it physically impossible for her to sit down during the dinner. She loves to suffer for fashion. It's part of the performance art for her.
That would definitely track.
Okay, moving from tightly guarded fashion secrets
Okay.
to secrets that literally just exploded all over the internet, we have to talk about NDAs and how they apparently mean absolutely nothing anymore. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
The fortress has officially been breached. The Swiftie intelligence agency failed to contain the perimeter.
I am devastated for them because they tried so hard to keep this quiet. Taylor and Travis's wedding plans have leaked, and the details are so wildly specific. The date, the location, everything. July 3rd, 2026. Right before the 4th of July weekend.
Let's look at the calendar mechanics of that. A holiday weekend wedding is very strategic. It acts as a natural filter. It forces people to either commit fully and cancel their Hamptons plans or miss it entirely. But let's analyze the location, because this is where the logistics get genuinely fascinating. They are reportedly doing it at an indoor venue in New York City.
Which is crazy to me. My romantic brain thought they'd want a beautiful outdoor garden aesthetic or a massive beach setup or a sprawling private estate in the English countryside, but an indoor venue in the middle of concrete Manhattan.
It makes perfect logistical sense if you understand the sheer, terrifying level of fame we are dealing with here. They are doing it indoors in New York specifically to control the airspace.
Airspace.
Yes, they want to avoid the paparazzi helicopters and the high-definition drones flying over the ceremony. If you do a beautiful outdoor garden wedding, you cannot legally control the sky above you. The Daily Mail will have drones hovering at 400 feet taking photos of the altar.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about drones.
But if you do it in a massive indoor venue in Manhattan, you control all the physical entry points, you control the street-level perimeter with private security and NYPD coordination, and you completely eliminate the aerial threat. Plus, Travis has explicitly said in interviews that he loves to walk the streets of New York and feel the electricity. It's a power move.
Okay, when you break down the airspace control versus perimeter control, it makes absolute sense. It's basically a military operation. But apparently New York wasn't even the original plan.
No.
No. The inside word is that the original plan was to do it in Watch Hill, Rhode Island, near her massive iconic estate. And the date was supposed to be June 13th. Because, of course, 13, Taylor's lucky number.
Obviously.
But it fizzled out because of a massive logistical screw-up.
Yeah, the renowned wedding planner, Tara Garrard, reportedly booked another event at the Ocean House in Rhode Island for June 13th. Imagine being the civilian couple whose wedding accidentally bumped Taylor Swift's wedding because of a scheduling conflict.
I would frame that email.
The absolute power you would feel walking down the aisle. But honestly, I think the privacy concerns were the real reason they pivoted away from Rhode Island to New York. Watch Hill is too exposed, the locals talk, the beaches are public property so you can't close them off, and it's a total security nightmare for a billionaire.
Definitely. And now the couple is reportedly super disappointed that this all leaked, despite everyone signing strict ironclad NDAs.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, how does something like this even leak? Did a florist talk? Did a caterer drop a hint?
It's always a vendor.
But we have to look at the alleged guest list, because it is a literal red carpet event. We've got Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco, Gigi Hadid, Patrick and Brittany Mahomes, the Haim sisters, Gracie Abrams, and maybe Niall Horan.
Niall Horan.
Yes. Niall was so funny about it in a recent interview. He was just like, I've been invited to a few weddings. Like, okay, Niall, play it cool. Don't break the NDA.
It's the billionaire class of the entertainment industry. When you have a guest list that high profile, the leak usually doesn't come from the inner circle. It comes from the outer rings of the vendor ecosystem, the lighting technicians, the floral assistants. But while we are on the topic of Taylor's supreme power and control over her ecosystem, can we talk about the ultimate flex she pulled this week? Because this is the kind of soft power that truly runs Hollywood.
Oh my God, yes. The Kid Cutie story. It is so sweet.
Kid Cutie's teenage daughter, Veda, is a massive Swiftie. She texts her dad asking if he can somehow get tickets for her and her friends. Kid Cutie literally calls Taylor Swift's team directly, and Taylor hooks them up with red carpet VIP access.
Unbelievable.
Friends and family tickets, the absolute best spot in the stadium. Kid Cutie goes on a podcast and crowns himself the coolest dad ever, entirely thanks to Taylor's benevolence.
Imagine being a teenager and your dad just casually texts Taylor Swift for VIP Eras Tour tickets. And let's put this in perspective. The Eras Tour grossed over $2 billion over 149 dates. $2 billion.
It's GDP levels of money.
Those tickets are literally the most sought-after currency on the planet. You cannot just buy them on Ticketmaster. You have to know God, or in this case, Taylor Swift.
Exactly. It's an incredible networking mechanism on Taylor's part. She takes care of the industry, she hooks up the legacy artists and their kids, and the industry loves her for it. It builds an impenetrable wall of goodwill. But let's pivot from a multi-billion-dollar tour to $1 million ring.
Yes, please.
Because the NDAs aren't the only things leaking in the pop star universe right now. We need to look at what is happening with Harry Styles and Zoe Kravitz.
I am so emotionally invested in this. I am unwell. They've only been dating for 8 months, but the rumors are everywhere. Zoe was spotted in New York City wearing a massive oval diamond on her ring finger. A massive oval diamond.
Huge.
We're talking hard launching an engagement without ever sending out a press release. It's so chic.
Let's look at the financial architecture of this ring, because the analytical side of my brain is hyperventilating at the liability. The estimated price tag on that ring is $1 million. $1 million for a single piece of carbon. And this is where the behind-the-scenes drama gets really interesting, because Harry's inner circle, his management, his financial advisors, are reportedly in an absolute panic. They are begging him to get a prenuptial agreement.
This makes me so mad. Why are they panicking? Zoe is Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah.
She's Hollywood royalty. She's gorgeous. She's talented. She's a successful director now. She's a Nepo baby in the best, most artistic way possible. She has her own money.
She is all of those things, yes, but we need to talk about scale. She has Hollywood actor money. She does not have Harry Styles money. We have to look at the extreme contrast in their massive fortunes. Harry Styles has global stadium tour money.
Okay, true.
He has Marvel Cinematic Universe money. He has multi-year Gucci campaign money. His fortune dwarfs hers significantly. The quote from the internal source was fascinating. They said, "When assets and public profiles reach this level, a prenup is seen as a sensible step rather than a cynical one." His team isn't saying he shouldn't marry her. They are saying he needs to protect the corporate empire that is Harry Styles LLC.
I hate when cold corporate logic ruins the romance. It feels so clinical. A sensible step rather than a cynical one. Ugh, fine, it makes mathematical sense. But my theory is that Harry doesn't care about the money.
He probably doesn't, which is why he pays people to care for him.
The word on the street is that he is entirely devoted. They said he would do anything to make the relationship work, and I am just swooning over this because remember his Zane Lowe interview? He was so open and vulnerable about wanting a full personal life, not just career success. He said he wants a family, he wants great relationships, he is fully in his nesting era. He wants love, not asset protection.
He is definitely nesting, and Zoe's reportedly incredibly happy and emotionally invested. It's a very grounding relationship for both of them. But listen to me carefully. Romance is a chemical reaction in the brain. A prenup is a legally binding firewall.
You are so cynical.
You can be entirely devoted and still have a really good wealth management lawyer. The two are not mutually exclusive. A prenup at that level of wealth isn't predicting a divorce. It's a corporate merger document determining how two massive LLCs share resources.
You are literally the grim reaper of love. You are the architect of asset retention. Why can't we just let them be in love without bringing liability into it?
Because liability is the only thing that matters when you have a net worth of over $100 million.
Fine. If we are talking about relationships moving fast and causing chaotic PR situations, we have to talk about the wildest, most confusing hard launch of the weekend. I actually gasped out loud when I opened Instagram. Sydney Sweeney and Scooter Braun.
The simulation is glitching. That is the only logical explanation for this pairing. It defies all known laws of Hollywood physics.
Glitching. The motherboard is completely fried. Sydney Sweeney, our euphoria queen, the current absolute it girl of Hollywood, hard-launched Scooter Braun. Yes, the music manager Scooter Braun, the guy Taylor Swift wrote all those songs about on her Instagram at Stagecoach. The caption, cowboy kind of weekend. The photos, him with his hand casually resting on her leg. Him carrying her on his shoulders, in the crowd in Indio like they are at a college frat party. A black and white collage of them being goofy together. It's IG official.
We need to map out the timeline of this, because this did not just happen spontaneously over a weekend in the desert. This has been a slow, highly methodical PR rollout.
You think so?
Absolutely. They were seen kissing at the Euphoria Season 3 premiere in Hollywood back in April. But the whispers actually started way back last summer when they were spotted on a yacht in Venice. Then they were photographed holding hands in New York City in October. This Stagecoach post isn't a new relationship. It's the culmination of a year-long conditioning strategy to normalize them as a couple to the public.
But the vibe gap, the age gap, the history. My theory is that this is a pure rebellion era for Sydney. Think about it. Sydney just ended her 7-year engagement to Jonathan Davina last year. 7 years in a very quiet, very private, non-industry relationship.
Right.
And Scooter. Scooter finalized his highly publicized divorce from Yale Cohen in 2022 after 7 years of marriage, not to mention all the massive industry-shaking drama with Taylor Swift's Masters catalog. He has so much heavy, toxic baggage, and she is universally beloved right now. Why is she doing this? She is choosing the most high-voltage, dangerous guy in the room.
It's not rebellion, it's a calculated brand merger. Think about it from a structural PR perspective. Scooter Braun desperately needs a reputational scrub. He has been painted as the ultimate Machiavellian industry villain for years. He sold Ithaca Holdings to HYBE, he stepped back from daily management, and he needs a new narrative.
Enter Sydney Sweeney.
Exactly. What better way to soften your image and buy a reputation offset than to be seen carrying the most beloved, popular, beautiful young actress in Hollywood on your shoulders at at a country music festival. Her proximity acts as a carbon credit for his toxic industry footprint.
A carbon credit.
Yeah,
I am screaming.
It humanizes him to a younger demographic. And for Sydney, she is aligning herself with an extremely wealthy, highly connected mogul who understands the mechanics of global fame better than almost anyone. It's a power pivot. But you are right, the crossover is jarring. It feels like two completely different cinematic universes colliding without warning.
Jarring is the perfect word. I'm still processing the visual of it. But honestly, speaking of jarring cinematic universes colliding and PR strategies becoming absolute messes, the red carpets in New York are just chaotic this week. We have to talk about Nicole Kidman's messy premiere.
Oh, this web is so deeply tangled. Grab a whiteboard and a red marker because we need to map out the structural integrity of this drama.
Seriously, we need red string and thumbtacks. Okay, so Nicole Kidman is at the NYC premiere of her highly anticipated new series, Scarpetta, and she is photographed holding hands with her co-star, Simon Baker.
Holding hands on a red carpet.
Holding hands, and when a reporter on the carpet asks her about their chemistry on screen, Nicole literally says it just vibrates. Vibrates, my jaw hit the floor.
Just vibrates is an incredibly loaded, highly intentional phrase to use about a male co-star while you are physically holding his hand on a heavily photographed red carpet. Especially when you look at the background cast of characters in this specific situation, because Simon Baker is not just a random actor she met on set.
No. Simon Baker is the ex-husband of Nicole's longtime close friend, Rebecca Rigg. And the word on the street is that Rebecca is shocked and confused by all of this. My theory is that Nicole is living in a bubble right now. You do not hold hands with your good friend's ex-husband and talk about your vibrating chemistry to the international press. It violates every single foundational rule of the girl code.
It completely shatters the girl code. But let's look at the mechanics of this ecosystem. It's like removing a load-bearing wall in a house. When you date a friend's ex-husband in a tight-knit ecosystem like the Australian Hollywood mafia, which includes Nicole, Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, Naomi Watts, you aren't just breaking a social rule, you're compromising the structural integrity of everyone's social contracts for the last 20 years.
It's so reckless.
But it gets even more complicated because Nicole's ex, Keith Urban, whose divorce from Nicole was just finalized earlier this year, is reportedly deeply hurt by this display. The quote from The Insider is devastating. They said it was the equivalent of seeing his best mate with his missus, and it did a number on him.
Wait. Keith Urban and Simon Baker were mates, like actual friends.
Yes. As I said, it's the Australian expat Hollywood mafia. They all know each other. They have all been running in the exact same exclusive circles, attending the same private parties for decades.
That is so messy.
So Keith is hurt, Rebecca is shocked, and Nicole's own friends are in full panic mode. The inside word is that her friends are terrified she is going to get emotionally crushed because Simon is dealing with his own issues and is not in a stable place for a commitment. He is allegedly playing the field.
And Nicole is a one-man woman. That's what the friends told the press. She is still incredibly vulnerable from the divorce with Keith, and her friends are worried that Simon is sending toxic mixed signals, like he's holding her hand, turning on the charm for the cameras, vibrating. But he doesn't actually want anything serious behind closed doors.
Exactly.
If Nicole is just one of many women he is seeing, she is going to be devastated. This is why you do not date your co-stars, and you definitely do not date your friend's ex-husband. It is a recipe for a massive, very public, very painful disaster.
It is a recipe for disaster personally, but let's be entirely cynical for a moment. It is a recipe for massive television ratings for Scarpetta. Let's not discount the PR mechanism at play here. A little behind-the-scenes romance rumor, a little scandalous hand-holding, always boosts viewership numbers. The studio loves this. But on a human level, yes, it is incredibly messy. It is high-level, prestige Hollywood mess.
Speaking of taking control of your narrative and walking away from a mess, I need us to take a sharp turn right back into the reality TV universe. Because while Bravo is sleeping, Hulu is giving us absolute Broadway-level drama. Whitney Leavitt from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives just dropped the biggest mic of the year.
She literally stopped a live Broadway performance to make a reality TV announcement. The sheer theatrical audacity of that move is actually impressive from a branding standpoint.
I am obsessed with the dramatics of it. So Whitney is playing Roxy Hart in Chicago on Broadway. Huge deal. It's her final performance on Sunday night. She is center stage in full costume. The spotlight is on her, and she drops this massive announcement to the crowd that she is officially exiting Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
On stage.
Just saying sayonara to the massive hit Hulu show that literally made her famous. The crowd goes wild, cheers, applause, but Why is she leaving the cash cow?
We have to analyze the timing and the legal liability here. This is a very strategic, highly calculated exit. First of all, look at her trajectory. She just had a standout, universally praised stint on Dancing with the Stars season 34, which directly led to this prestige Broadway run.
True, she elevated her brand.
Her public profile has officially transcended the original ensemble show. She doesn't strictly need the Hulu paycheck anymore to stay relevant. But more importantly, look at the structural mechanics of what is happening with the production of Secret Lives right now.
You mean the domestic violence dispute?
Exactly. Filming for the new season was suddenly abruptly halted because of a severe domestic violence dispute between her castmates, Taylor Frankie Paul and Dakota Mortensen. It's incredibly dark, it's legally serious, and it involves active police investigations.
That's so sad.
Now, the industry reports say Hulu is picking cameras back up shortly, and the rest of the cast is contractually ready to film. But Whitney is pulling the ripcord. She is actively separating her personal brand from that legal and emotional darkness. It's a PR tourniquet.
That makes perfect sense. She was the center of so much petty drama on the show. The friendships, the fallouts, the intense religious pressure. But she always tried to keep her overall image somewhat clean and marketable, even when she was acting shady. Now she has Dancing with the Stars, she has Broadway credibility. Why on earth would she want to go back to Utah and film scenes discussing a highly traumatic domestic violence situation?
She wouldn't.
It's a brilliant career move to protect her peace, but the fans are going to be devastated because she was such a driving force behind the viral buzz. Whether you liked her or not, she was television gold. She drove the plot.
It's the classic reality TV graduation pipeline. You use the chaotic ensemble show to launch your individual brand, you build a separate audience, and the minute the ensemble gets too legally or emotionally toxic, you cut the cord and pivot to mainstream entertainment. Nene Leakes did it with Glee and Broadway, Bethany Frankel did it with her talk show and Skinny Girl, and now Whitney Leavitt is executing the exact same playbook. It will be very interesting to see the ratings fall out and how the Hulu show survives structurally without her, because she generated a massive percentage of the conflict.
Totally. And honestly, stepping away from toxicity to protect your peace, your sanity, and your brand is a major theme today. Which brings me to a moment of actual, genuine respect.
Yeah.
We have to talk about Tom Holland and his sobriety journey. Because I love Tom Holland, and watching him evolve has been so refreshing.
It is genuinely a masterclass in personal growth and taking control of your own psychological narrative.
It really is. So Taylor hosted this super exclusive, invite-only Padel Classic tournament on a transformed parking garage in Sherman Oaks for his non-alcoholic beer brand, BEO. And Zendaya was there supporting him, which is just the cutest, most stable relationship in Hollywood right now.
They are very solid.
But he gave this incredibly open interview to The Hollywood Reporter at the event, and he talked about how sobriety has fundamentally helped him become a better version of himself. He said he takes work setbacks with grace now, and he doesn't panic. He admitted he used to panic all the time under the pressure, but quitting drinking keeps him level-headed and grounded.
Let's connect this to the macroeconomic picture of young stardom, because it's profound. Tom Holland was thrust into global, suffocating superstardom as Spider-Man at a very young age.
A literal teenager.
Right. The pressure to maintain that box office dominance, the anxiety of public perception, the endless, grueling industry press tours alcohol becomes a very easy, culturally accepted crutch. By stepping back, publicly launching a non-alcoholic brand, and openly discussing the anxiety and the panic attacks, he is completely reshaping the narrative of the young Hollywood leading man.
That's so cool to see.
Launching a non-alcoholic brand is the ultimate Gen Z Hollywood power move. He is treating late-night club appearances for long-term wellness equity. It's not about partying anymore. It's about mental clarity, longevity, and community.
Exactly. And it reminds me so much of what Hillary Duff just said at the Time 100 Summit. She was up there talking about working as a full-time adult in this brutal industry since she was 9 years old. 9. She was carrying adult responsibilities, carrying the financial weight of entire television crews on her shoulders, while she was literally still losing her baby teeth.
The child star pipeline is notoriously brutal. It is an industrial machine that grinds up youth for profit. The recent documentaries coming out have exposed just how structurally dark and abusive it can be behind the scenes.
And Hillary said watching those documentaries is a complete out-of-body experience for her. But she said something that really struck me, emotionally. She said she was incredibly grateful she didn't get any severe battle wounds. But she didn't sugarcoat or downplay how hard it was.
She was very honest.
She talked about how she had to show up and be a consummate professional through exhaustion, through sickness, holding her own in a room full of demanding adults constantly. She had to just keep grinding when other kids were at recess.
Yeah.
I just want to praise her for surviving that machine without completely losing her soul.
It highlights the extreme psychological cost of that early fame. The sheer discipline it requires to push through a 14-hour shoot day when you are 12 years old is not normal human behavior. It permanently forms your neural pathways. As she said, it completely formed who she is as an adult. And you see that exact same survival discipline in Tom Holland taking control of his life in his sobriety now. It's a very grounded, sobering picture of life behind the fame. They both survived the corporate entertainment machine and came out the other side with their sanity and their bank accounts intact, which, if you look at the history of Hollywood, is a statistical anomaly.
It is a massive anomaly.
Yeah.
And it makes me so genuinely happy to see them thriving and taking their power back.
Okay, from Hollywood royalty to actual literal royalty, we are heading across the pond to the UK because the Royal Rumbles never ever stop. And honestly, this first story is kind of sweet, but also deeply foundationally petty.
The best royal stories always have an undercurrent of intense institutional pettiness.
Mhm.
It's the hallmark of the Windsor brand.
Always. Okay, so the inside tea is that there are active talks that Prince William and Prince Harry's kids might actually reunite in the UK this summer. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis meeting up with Archie and Lilibet.
They have largely grown up completely apart since Harry and Meghan moved to California in 2020. The sources are saying the kids are getting older, they're asking questions, there's a natural curiosity about their cousins, so it's getting harder for the adults to justify keeping them completely isolated from each other.
And let's look at the mechanics of who is actually orchestrating this behind the scenes. It's King Charles and Catherine, Princess of Wales.
Interesting.
They are the ones pushing to ensure these family ties remain intact for the next generation. It's a very strategic, highly diplomatic move by the monarchy to show public unity, even if it's just achieved through the optics of the children playing together. It softens the firm's image.
But here is the petty detail that I am obsessing over. Prince William agreed to the playdate, he signed off on it. But the inside word is that he is deeply uncomfortable with any direct face-to-face reconciliation with Harry, and he plans to maintain his physical distance during the trip.
Of course he is.
He might not even be in the same room when the kids meet. He is literally going to leave Catherine to oversee this incredibly awkward cousin playdate alone. Can you imagine the suffocating tension in that royal playroom?
It is the ultimate passive-aggressive sibling boundary setting. Fine, our kids can play with Lego together for the cameras, but I will be in another wing of the palace entirely reading a book.
Exactly.
William has absolutely no interest in making nice or pretending the rift is healed. He is drawing a very firm, unyielding line in the sand. But leaving Catherine to manage the small talk and the emotional labor with Harry and Meghan while the toddlers interact, that is a heavy, unfair diplomatic burden to place on your wife. It's a logistical nightmare for her to navigate.
A total nightmare. But honestly, Meghan might have much bigger, more global things to be mad about right now than William hiding in the East Wing. Because the word is that Meghan is absolutely fuming at King Charles.
We have to look at the structural mechanics of this clash impartially because it involves the intersection of family dynamics and international statecraft, which is always volatile.
Exactly, just looking at the family communication here. So King Charles and Queen Camilla were recently on an official state visit to the U.S. And during the trip, Charles was photographed laughing, shaking hands, and having a great jovial time with Donald and Melania Trump.
Right.
Now, the context here is that Trump has previously taken major, very public jabs at Harry and Meghan. He called Harry whipped on international television and sarcastically wished him luck with Meghan.
Which, in the strict realm of global politics and diplomacy, is a highly unusual, norm-breaking thing for a political figure to say about a direct member of the British royal family. It was deeply personal, and it broke protocol.
Extremely personal. And because of that history, Meghan is reportedly furious that Charles didn't use that moment to defend his son. The inside sources say she is taking it very personally. My theory is that she feels like Charles should not have let those past comments go unchallenged. She thinks he should have stood his ground, been a father first, and been icy instead of laughing it up for the press cameras. She's fuming and thinks it sends a terrible message about family loyalty.
It's a classic textbook clash of perspectives between the personal and the institutional. From Meghan's point of view, which is entirely human, family protection should trump everything. If someone publicly insults your son and your daughter-in-law, you do not smile and pose for friendly photos with them. It's an emotional protective
That
reaction.
makes total sense.
But from King Charles's perspective, he is the reigning head of state. He is the physical embodiment of the British government abroad. He is conducting international diplomacy. The diplomatic relationship and the trade ties between the U.S. and the U.K. are vastly bigger than any internal family squabbles.
Even big squabbles.
The source noted a fascinating detail. Harry actually understands this. He reluctantly gets the impossible position his father is in. Harry was raised in the firm. He knows exactly how the cold machinery of state business works. Meghan is viewing the interaction entirely through the lens of family loyalty and protection, while Charles is forced to view it through the lens of global statecraft and protocol.
Which is exactly the fundamental mechanism of why they clashed with the institution in the first place. The personal emotional needs versus the cold, unfeeling protocol of the crown. It literally never ends.
It never ends.
But I don't want to leave the royal segment on a sour, tense note because we actually have some genuinely happy, uncomplicated news from the palace. Princess Eugenie is pregnant with baby number 3.
A desperately needed PR palate cleanser. We love a royal baby announcement that doesn't involve a constitutional crisis.
We really do. It's so sweet. She posted this adorable, very rare, candid photo on Instagram. It's her 2 sons, August, who is 5, and Ernest, who is 2, sitting together on the floor holding the ultrasound picture. She just captioned it, Baby Brooksbank, due 2026.
That's lovely.
And it happened right after her husband, Jack Brooksbank, celebrated his 40th birthday. It's just pure, unfiltered joy. King Charles is reportedly delighted by the news. It's just really nice to see them prioritizing their growing family and living a normal life away from all the vicious tabloid drama.
It is a very stabilizing, grounding image for the royal family right now. Amidst the endless sibling feuds, the geopolitical tension, and the constant exhausting tabloid scrutiny, a simple, low-resolution iPhone picture of 2 kids holding a sonogram is universally charming. It's incredibly effective passive PR for the firm, but it's also just a lovely, humanizing moment that reminds people they're an actual family, not just a corporation.
It really is. Okay, we have one last quick update before we wrap up this massive download of chaos, and it is a sad one. I need to send some good healing energy out to Zayn Malik today.
Yes, this was very unfortunate news to wake up to on the timeline.
Zayn has officially canceled the U.S. leg of his 2026 Conical tour. He put out a very heartfelt message to the fans confirming the difficult decision. He was hospitalized last month for an undisclosed illness, and he's currently recovering at home. He says he's doing well and he hopes to come back stronger than ever, but he had to completely rethink his physical calendar and drastically reduce the number of shows to protect his body.
It's a huge blow for the fans, especially since this specific album release was building up to be such a major, triumphant comeback moment for him in the industry. But what I found really touching from a logistical standpoint was how his family handled the overwhelming parasocial response.
Flowers.
Fans were sending so many massive floral arrangements to his private home that the physical volume became completely unmanageable for the estate. His family actually had to put out a formal statement gently asking fans to please redirect their money and donate to charity instead of sending flowers.
That just shows you the sheer, terrifying power and unwavering loyalty of his fan base. The fact that the floral deliveries became an actual logistical hazard at his house.
Fire hazard levels.
But donating to charity in his name is such a beautiful, constructive way for the fans to show their support while giving him the actual physical space and quiet he needs to heal. We love you, Zayn. Get well soon. We need those iconic vocals back on stage, but your physical and mental health has to come first, always.
Absolutely. Health and bandwidth above all else. Well, that brings us to the end of the news cycle, and let me just summarize the absolute psychological whiplash we have experienced in the last hour.
Please do.
We started with the delusion of a soft girl summer, moved into billionaires throwing PR tantrums over Met Gala optics, analyzed the legal mechanics of million-dollar diamond rings and ironclad NDAs, mapped out a messy, load-bearing web of Australian actors violating the girl code, discussed the deep psychological toll of the child stardom pipeline, and ended with the clash between international royal diplomacy and family loyalty. My brain is officially at capacity.
My brain is entirely full. My iced vanilla latte is completely empty, and it is tragically time to actually face the Monday workday. But I want to leave you with a quick motivation for the week. Whatever you do this week, whatever horrible emails you have to send, whatever boring meetings you have to sit through, I want you to channel Lauren Sanchez. Refuse to step out of the spotlight. Put on your figurative lip gloss, ignore the haters protesting outside your door, and walk those steps with your head held high. But maybe, just maybe, do it with a little less billionaire controversy.
A very Solid, highly applicable piece of advice. Channel the unyielding confidence, ditch the reputational liability. Snark Squad, as always, thank you for joining us in the chaos today. Please remember to subscribe, rate the show 5 stars if you love the mess, and send this episode immediately to the messiest friend in your group chat. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
They need to know the structural details of the Nicole Kidman hand-holding incident immediately.
Yeah.
We love you so much, babes. Stay caffeinated, stay chaotic, and we will see you on the Snark side.
Stay caffeinated, stay chaotic, and we will see you on the Snark side. And seriously, ask yourselves, if you had a $15 million event ticket, would a few protesters really keep you in the car?